Hey everybody, what's going on? It's John. I'm going to talk about some investing, some exciting investing stuff today. What am I going to be talking about? Well, I'm actually going to be talking about something that I actually didn't even know what it was until January of 2021. And here we are. It just did an IPO this week. And well, two huge events, right? Number one, it did an IPO this week, and then earlier in 2020, they got a really big investment from a group from someone that I follow a lot. I really like to understand what he's up to, and that is Mark Andreessen of Andreessen Horowitz. In case you don't know, you know what Andreessen Horowitz is. It's a venture capital firm, and in case you don't know who Mark Andreessen is, Mark Andreessen was the co-founder of what was the Netscape Navigator. So he was pretty much right there at the internet in 1994. You know, one of the early guys, and he was super young back then. That really kind of co-founded and invented the Netscape Navigator. So pretty much the first web browser. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is take you into a video where we've got on CNBC where they're talking about Roblox and everything related to. In case you don't know what Roblox is basically it's just a game. It's gaming, right? So all these primarily Generation Z is playing Roblox, and it's a game, and the actual currency in Roblox is called Robux. So my exposure to Roblox is I have a new YouTube channel I'm doing. It's really like it's called it's kind of like called YouTube Cash Cow, right? That's really the only name for it. But all it is it's just videos. So we do videos where we kind of capture a lot of videos where my face isn't in it, right? Where they're just videos of different people playing the game, and we're doing a lot of different videos, about 3 videos a week. And the spirit of it is really it's just an investment, right? It's just a business. And anyway, so I didn't know that much about Roblox. I certainly know a lot more about it now because I'm doing 3 videos a week of Roblox, and I didn't realize how big it really is. It's pretty shocking how big Roblox is as a game. But let's go ahead and we're going to check out the video where one of their investors talks with CNBC about how big Roblox is really going to be. And then after that, I'm going to show you a little bit about Andreessen Horowitz and how they invested, I think it's 150 million. Let me just make sure. Yeah, 150 million Series G led by Andreessen Horowitz, which was really back in 2020. But anyway, so let's take a look. Nice ad.
Its founder and CEO, Brad Gerstner, is with us now to talk about that, the broader tech landscape. It's good to see you.
Founder and CEO.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to see you and the gang. Looks like Steve's on fire to start the show.
Yeah, what else is new? It's a big day for you. Congratulations. But honestly, I think what maybe is the most interesting part of this whole story is that you looked at this before and you gave it the Heisman. And then you came back because you admitted that you missed something. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm not sure if I gave him the Heisman or they gave me the Heisman, but, listen, we've been studying this landscape for a really long time, Scott. The gaming landscape
Sorry,
is
he's
changing.
from an investment firm.
When we watched games over years, it was a hit-driven business.
He's not the founder of Roblox. He's from an investment firm.
And now gaming, I watched my 10-year-old and my 12-year-old play, and it's at the intersection of how they communicate with their friends. It's at the intersection of creativity in these communities, at the intersection of entertainment and even commerce. And so we're enthusiastic about gaming generally. We're investors in several companies in the space, as you know. But Roblox is an extraordinary community. We got it wrong. We're thrilled we partnered with them to help them bring them public.
Yeah, everything you just said, I hear you. I think, everybody's kind of feeling what you said about, kids and being together and all that. Yeah, I mean, during a pandemic, sure. But what about after?
Well, the company has given a guide that there's going to be deceleration and normalization in a post-pandemic world. And, it reminds me, a year ago, you and I were here and had somebody told us that we were going to have a huge deceleration in April because kids were going to be back in school. you and I would have been celebrating, right? Like, I would much rather have deceleration. I would much rather have the 10-year going up. I'd much rather have growth multiples, contracting, but know that we saved ourselves from this plague. And so, we invested in the company knowing that there would be some natural deceleration, but the underlying trends in that business are phenomenal. This is a business that is exploding around the world with this amazing community of creators and users who are on the platform every day. Think of it like YouTube, where every day it's a new experience because the ingenuity of these inventors, like my kids, who get on the platform and create amazing things.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the valuation of where it is today based on the listing, $30 billion. Wasn't it just like $4 billion less than a year ago, or just about that? What does that say about, where we are? I know there's a lot of optimism about this listing. That's undeniable. But from $4 billion to $30 billion in basically a year, if not less?
Well, listen, Scott, as you know, we invest for the very long haul. And our team did its work. We've tracked the company for a very long time, and so, yes, it sounds extraordinary, but two things I think to point out. Number one, when it raised that capital, we were at the front end of a global pandemic. None of us knew. None of us knew what was going to happen, right? I remember you and I talking after that March 24th show, exhausted and worried about the state of the world. And so I think the investors who were taking the risk at that point in time in the company, right, looked around the table and said, we're going to hold hands and jump, and this is a fair valuation. As it turns out, two incredible things happened. Number one, it became part of an indispensable platform for kids to communicate and create. It introduced the platform to tens of millions of users who had never seen it before, who continue to love it. On the other side of that, we came up with a miracle cure. The system that we like to tear down of entrepreneurial capitalism produced the greatest vaccines known to mankind, and we're getting back to work and we're normalizing. Both of those things are terrific outcomes. This company will be long enduring. Remember, for 15 years, it's been growing, and we expect it's going to grow that way for a long time to come.
You think it can grow its user base to, beyond whatever age is the wheelhouse right now? Can it draw older kids, or however you want to refer to them? But you get the gist of what I'm asking you.
Yeah, I remember people when they looked at Netflix in the United States and it had 20 million subscribers and said, just think, could it ever have 200 million subs, right? And they blew through that number this year. And so when you think of Roblox, I see a future where there are 1 billion people around the planet creating, communicating, interacting on the platform. And to your question about age, it's really fascinating. I think they disclosed at their analyst day that almost a third of the platform today is over the age of 17. So I think the question as to whether or not this is a hit game, a fad-driven game for kids, has been asked and answered. And certainly as part of our investment thesis, we believe it's not only going to be used by folks of all generations, but we think it's going to be used all around the world.
So there you go. Roblox, a third of the people are over 17. So so there you go. So anyway, so let's take a look here. Just so you know, Andreessen Horowitz, I've definitely followed them, quite a bit in terms of what their activity is as a venture firm. First, let's take a look at what they did, right? So Andreessen Horowitz raises 150 million Series G, led by Andreessen Horowitz, and now valued at $4 billion. So this was back in, I think this was in February. The end of February 26th of 2020. So, a year ago, right? They got 150 million investment, and the valuation was 40 billion. So that's now 10 times that, or almost 10 times that. And just to give you some perspective, it looks like Andreessen Horowitz 16Z, I guess is what they're called. But Andreessen Horowitz manages a total of about 16.5 billion of assets in all of their funds as a firm, right? So, this Roblox is probably, I guess it's not like a huge investment relative, right? So you figure, that even 1%? Yeah, that's just literally just shy of 1%. It's like 0.9%. So 150 million, of their 16.5 billion. So not huge exposure for them. I don't know exactly off the top of my head what the average size of an investment from Andreessen Horowitz is, but I think that 150 million is probably a pretty small investment for them, given that their fund is 16.5 billion. I actually did do a video recently on Andreessen Horowitz and what they say about really a couple things, but what they say about Bitcoin. I'll go ahead and I'll put that video in the information tab there. And in that video, actually, let me take a pause real quick because I'm gonna find out what that was. Yeah, it looks like Andreessen Horowitz, they have a $1,515 million crypto fund that they launched. So 1,515 of their 16.5 billion. So they're they're really big on crypto. In fact, the video I'm going to put in the information tab here is where Mark Andreessen says that Bitcoin is basically 1994 internet. And you can go check that out. Even in there, I actually reference the press release in terms of their $515 million investment in, well, not investment, but their $515 million crypto fund that they launched within their firm. So there you go. So there is Roblox, and I'm going to put a link to one of my Roblox videos and the Roblox channel in this video, so you can go check it out. Go check it out and watch some of this. What this Roblox is all about. Okay, hopefully you all like that. I'm going to put a link below as well. I've got a blueprint in there, everybody, that came up recently, and I always optimize it, and I'm always upgrading it. I cover investing. I cover online income. I'm also have a long history of being an internet marketer. Generated 20 million of career revenue with respect to internet marketing. I cover credit, business credit, financial dependence, and I've got a guide at the end. And the guide is all the groups in the U.S. that offer a free credit score, plus all the groups in the U.S. that offer a free FICO score and the corresponding bureau of that FICO. And yes, I've got 3 bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, so that way you never have to pay for another FICO again. And it's only $7. Hopefully you like that. You all have a great weekend, and thank you.